good, listeners? Our guest live on the Chris Collins Show Millennial Talk Show is #1 Billboard artist and actress Joy Villa. And as she is zooming on in across the pond, who knows what the heck she's doing now.
Oh, I love it.
Joy, how you doing, fam?
There you are. Hi, Joy.
Hi, what a great intro. I love it.
Hey, you know the drill. But, but before we begin our conversation, I think it's very important that we show the CCS family what's good, because you have this new phenomenal film out right now. It's called The Contrast. So, Marissa, let's go ahead and play the teaser now.
This is a beautiful place for our wedding.
On behalf of the Royal Tyler, I welcome you.
Only the best for my baby.
You know, my dad's going to be more excited to see you than I think he is to see me.
Yeah, well, he knows you're going to get looked after. Jeez, babe.
Let's all raise our glasses to a toast for the newlyweds.
I'm sorry, baby. You're going to have to wait one more night till you get all of this.
Dimple and Maria.
Dimple is such a great guy.
Nipple, right? It's Dimple. My friends call me Dimple. You can call me sir.
He's just been stressed, you know?
Sorry, I got so much work to do with this publisher. He's, demanding so much of me right now.
Hey, now, little mama, don't you think you ought to love again? Well, once again.
Yeah, so you just saw the teaser for The Contrast, starring the one and only #1 Billboard artist and actress, Joy Villa. And The Contrast is a contemporary adaptation of the first professionally produced play in America by Royal Taylor in 1787. And you're a #1 Billboard artist. Why now in your career did you want to be a part of The Contrast?
That's a great question, Chris. So I've been an actress my whole life. A lot of people don't know that. I've been acting my whole life. No, I didn't mean to come off like that.
I love that. All the time, darling. Since I came out of the womb. I came out of the womb and I was acting.
She's already doing a two-step.
Now they're going to say, fake, I knew it.
No, but for real, why did you want to be a part of this first professional play that's now a contemporary adaptation?
Great question. Well, I actually grew up doing theater. So since I was 5 years old, I've been singing, dancing, and acting, musical theater. And a lot of my fans don't know that the audience isn't introduced to the acting. I've done some smaller roles as well. I was on a TV series called Heroes back in the day. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yeah, I remember the show Heroes.
Oh, I remember Heroes. Snap.
Yep. I'm in the 4th season. So I was on that show, and just a tiny, small role. I played part of the Dark Circus. And so I tried my hand at acting throughout the years, and I decided in favor of music to pursue music and put acting on the shelf for a little bit. And then this project came in front of me, and Chris Johnson, the producer and the writer, he offered it to me. He said, "You are my Maria." And it's hard to say no when the creator of something says, you're perfect for the star.
Yeah, absolutely. When they're singling you out, right?
And I love seeing you, Joy, because I have tattoos. And I have to say, when it first popped up, before I even realized it was you, I was like, oh, the lead has tattoos and they're awesome. They're real tattoos. They're not just drawn in, right? And then I was like, oh my God, it's Joy. I was like, that's awesome.
Thank you so much. I really wanted that to be part of my character because she's a musician, a former musician, but she leaves it behind. And they talk about that in the movie a little bit to pursue the family business. So she's more straight-laced, but she still has her tattoos.
Yeah.
And I think it's very realistic. When I first got into acting, actually 10 years ago, I wanted to break into the acting industry. And, I have a big afro and I wear flowers in my hair. And right now I'm sort of 1950s and I have tattoos. Back then I had some small tattoos. And I was told, you have to cover up your tattoos. You have to flatten the hair. You have to take the flower out. You have to be like everyone else, commercial. And I said, this is BS. I'll come back in the industry when the industry is ready for me.
Snap.
And that's what's up. And now we got The Contrast, which I think is, it's a phenomenal piece. And I have to really highlight again, The Contrast, CCS family. This is from 1787. That is roughly 235 years ago, Joy. So why do millennials need to see this film?
I look good, don't I?
You look fabulous.
And hey, and so do your co-stars. Next, I was like, okay, you cast some good-looking men to go with it too. And I was like, ooh, that dark chocolate. I was like, hey.
Oh, I know, right? Jermaine, he's
so is this what I'm getting from? Like, the main reason we need to see this film is so we can glorify and drool all over Joy Villa's perforance over the contrast.
Yeah, you're hot. I'm telling you, I love it.
That's too funny.
Like, you want to see hot people, but what was your question?
No, what I was trying to say, like, why do millennials need to see this film? And clearly, we need to see it because we're going to be drooling all over Joy Villa because she just looks stellar and hot throughout the performance. But Joy, in the contrast, your character Maria is getting married to Dimples because it is what her father wants and not so much what her heart desires. And is this going to be the new norm for millennials because we'll never be able to live on our own without parents? Is this the theme throughout the contrast?
No, but it's funny because this film was, like you said, is based off of a play that was made over 200 years ago. It's the same story. So it's funny that we haven't really changed in over 200 and odd something years, because I think everybody has always decided with their society or their parentage or their family, their community in mind when they choose someone to fall in love with. It's just natural. We do that, right? We want the stable person that your friends like, whether it's just your friends also think he's cute, or your mom's like, okay, does he make money? Or, she's hot enough to show off to the guys. I mean, we all do that subconsciously. So this is really a choice between her following her heart or her following what is more expected of her. And that's relatable. Like, why should millennials watch this movie? Because it's relatable and it's fun. It's a romantic comedy. It's not supposed to be too seriously.
Right.
I think keep that in mind too on it, because you have, the Restoration period, which was romance. It was having that a little bit bigger than life in there. And so I dug that as it was going through. I was like, oh, I don't know, having that glass of wine, hanging out, watching it.
No, it's so true.
You got it. And just like to take your mind off of the everyday humdrum, what's going on with everything, COVID, blah, blah, blah. And it's just something entertaining, and it's light, and it's very feel good. And I do think that people will find the human element in it, male or female. I mean, yes, it's a romantic comedy, but we have some action in it. Guys can watch it too, but I think the girls are going to really like the eye candy.
Absolutely. But, Joy, let's talk about you, because you're an American singer and artist whose EP, I Make the Static, skyrocketed to the #1 spot on both iTunes and Amazon on President's Day in 2017. And as an independent artist, leading tens of thousands of Trump supporters to download your EP and flood iTunes review portal with pro-Trump messages. My question's this, why are GOP-led political tracks such as Let's Go Brandon and your hit track, Make America Great Again, dominating the Billboard charts in the recent years?
It's funny, I think that people just want a difference. They want to change. They want multiple voices. I've always been someone that says every voice should be heard. We should listen to different sides of the story, because we have two wings of the same bird, right? The left and the right. And I think that it's important that we keep it very open-minded when we talk about politics, we talk about art. I don't think we should be shutting down alternate voices, even if we don't agree with them. So I think people are just agreeing with that now, and I
have to agree with you on that. Like my thoughts are a lot different than a lot of my family. And one thing that I love about that is it's taught me how to discourse. And I think that millennials, we are forgetting how to discourse, and definitely do the Y gen, like coming down below us. If you're not on the same page, don't talk to me. You can't be my friend. I'm going to unfriend you. And I'm just like, what happened to just like, I'm not saying be friends with a serial killer. I'm not, what I'm saying is it's okay to have a different opinion and learn how to talk about it.
But maybe I think you're getting onto something though, Marissa, because with music, you don't have that other opinion in there. It's only going to be one voice, and that's the singer. So maybe when people go to listen to music, they feel like they got this outlet where, hey, if you enjoy it, you can listen to it, in your headphones, or you can be blasted on the speaker. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Joy?
I think music is intensity. personal. And we need music for all different moods, all different styles, all different thoughts. And what Marissa said about learning how to discord, it's so important. And I'll listen to music by an artist I disagree with politically, or even if the message I disagree with. I mean, there's not really a lot of messages I disagree with that's usually in music. It's usually about empowering, right? And my music is no different. It's about empowering others. And, even the music video for Make America Great Again had all different types of people in it from all walks of life. I did that on purpose because it's not a Republican anthem. It's something that, other presidents have used, and it's a meaning. Let's make America great again. What does that mean? Well, I may not agree with you politically or socially or economically or whatever that means, but I can be a human to you. We can still talk. We can have a discussion, and we can like our differences. It used to be, red, yellow, black, and white. We're all different and beautiful. We used to celebrate diversity of thought, but now it's like we shut down certain diversities and only allow others diversities. And I'm like, no, I want difference everywhere. I want to look into a sea and nobody thinks the same way, dresses the same way, acts the same way. We're all different and unique. I love that.
And I think your song really resonated, especially with me in a sense that when people are struggling so hard, and here is the song that you have that just said, hey, look, we don't have to struggle this hard. Regardless of how you want to throw your political hair, it really can get better. And how do we do that as a country?
That's right.
No, I think that's such a great point.
You take away your dress and you'd never know. Honestly, you take away the dress, people wouldn't know.
We're gonna get to the dress, okay? Trust me, that's gonna be coming up in the conversation. But I don't want to jump there just yet because I do want to highlight, as Forbes pointed out about your success as an independent artist, had Joy Villa sold even one copy of her EP in the preceding 2 years, this jump would have represented one of the largest percentage-wise in chart history. That's insane. And to even top it off, former President Trump took to Twitter when he wasn't permanently banned at the time. Okay, guys, CCS family, when he wasn't permanently banned, he was tweeting his love of your music. And we all know Obama's music playlist, which makes headlines each year, but he's not singling out an artist like President Trump did for you. So what did it feel like to get this kind of support as an independent artist?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because Forbes says, oh, if she had sold one, I mean, I actually sold thousands of copies before. It just wasn't reported because it's independent. It wasn't in the system. So, and I actually, like that's the thing. If I sell, I didn't know this at the time, but I learned.
Because your songs are catalog music, correct?
Yes, my music, I cataloged it. I mean, I'm independent, so I don't have a record label. And independent artists, make sure your stuff is registered with SoundScan. Otherwise, it won't show up for the charts. This album was registered with SoundScan because I did it. But before, my album was not. So when I did shows, like I toured 30, now I've toured 36 countries. I would sell my album, but it wasn't registered. So it was kind of like under the table.
Well, imagine if you were actually doing this like when YouTube just got announced as a part of the, the tallies on the Billboard charts. You would be even skyrocketed even more today if you actually had your YouTube views. So like that is just it's so true. And I find that so incredible.
Oh my God.
Sales that get counted is so minuscule compared to what does, but the fact that it still broke every single record and landed me #1 on the charts was huge. I mean, it's massive, and no one can take that away from me. And I feel so accomplished because it's one of my goals that I set out. And I'm very much into spiritually putting there, right? Visualizing where you want to go in life. And that was one of my things. I mean, there's a lot on there, Oscars, Grammys. I want to win everything. I want to do it all. And one of them was Billboard charts. And the fact that I looked at this from 2011 and made it happen in 2017. I mean, it made me cry when I looked through my old diaries and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm doing it. So I always encourage other people, write down your goals, go after your goals. You can do them no matter how outrageous or crazy they seem. This is really important. And yes, the president shouting me out, sitting president, and me going to the White House, singing the national anthem at the White House for Hispanic Heritage Month. Mind blown. I never thought, of course, that's what what I dreamed I would do, writing it on paper as a little girl, but to actually actualize it, it's quite something. It's pretty mind-blowing.
You're winning on a lot of levels, and I know as Marissa already wanted to jump the ship already. Come on, Marissa, we got talking points here that we're trying to do. But let's get right into it, because obviously you're killing it in the fashion finista. You know, you've been doing this for a long time now, almost like 5 years, and as someone who is making, you know, political style statements on the red carpet, at the Grammys, with your Make America Great Again dress and impeached and reelected gown. I know we have a photo for the CCS family we can definitely share on screen, because I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, because I know where you're I'm assuming you know where I'm going with this, Joy, because I'm curious about your thoughts about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's political style dress tax the rich at the Met Gala last year, because the storm of criticism over AOC's dress came from both the right and the left. So what counts as protest fashion?
We're united in their hate for that dress.
You missed the meme that Chris made. It was like Chick-fil-A bag. Okay, I regardless of the message, it just reminded us of a Chick-fil-A bag. And
that's so true too.
But it did remind me of a Chick-fil-A bag.
But Joy, what you just said was kind of fascinating. I mean, you said they're like, do you kind of sympathize with AOC on a level where like you understand the hate that she received?
Well, I'll tell you, and if you see the Build the Wall dress that I wore in 2018 at the Grammys, it looks almost exactly like it, including the writing is the same, similar. So for me, I don't sympathize, because what I see is she ripped off my gown that my designer and I went together to do. And even New York Times asked her designer, like a lot of people are saying, you ripped off Joy Villa's gown, because all my search results come in, my team send it to me. And so I got this, and there's an interview where they name drop me, and the designer says, no, I've never heard of Joy Villa.
See, thank you. I told Chris, because I was like, there have always been artists that have used fashion for statements. Prince, you had Lady Gaga with the meat, right? But no one has done the political written statements on it. And I was like, Joy Villa was the first one to do that. That's exactly what I said, Chris.
No, you're absolutely right, Marissa.
She totally did copy. You were right. And I saw then a lot of people sent it to me. That's how I heard of it. And they were like, she's totally copying your dress, Joy. And I was like, it's true. She is. And I just said, well, I mean, it's really interesting. I think the message falls flat, because she's saying tax the rich. She is rich, and she's at a very rich party that cost, I think it was like $150,000.
Yeah, right. The 1% are only ones that are able to show up.
You are the 1%. She makes over, I think, $170,000 or $100,000 a year, which is the 1% actually. It doesn't take that much money. We're not talking about just millionaires are rich in this country. You can be wealthy if you make six figures. Not everybody makes six figures. We're privileged if we make more money than most people, but we also worked hard. But I don't think taxing the rich at a rich party that you got tickets to, that you're wearing a designer dress and you're wearing the fancy makeup, it just, to me, the message fell flat. And the fact that it ripped off my design, I was like, okay.
Do you think AOC purposely singled you out, or do you think it was the actual fashion designer that gave her the dress for the idea?
That's a good question. I think it was the fashion designer that said, oh, let's do something. I think AOC said, let's do something crazy. Of course, she's heard of me and she's seen my dresses. I mean, I don't think there's anyone on the planet.
Right. Hollywood reporters reporting about you. So
yeah, it's like I did a tiny little thing. This got major press. The last 5 years, it's dominated the press every time I step out in one of those dresses, because also I plan that way. I do it at a big, huge event. I don't just wear it, around the corner store. So for sure she saw it. I do think that was probably her designer that ripped off my designer. And then they just sort of passed it off. And I think they thought, well, it's the Met Gala. It's supposed to be over the top. No one's going to notice. But everybody noticed. That's what everyone was talking about. Looks like Joy Villa's dress. So I was like, okay, cool. My name's in the press too. And I think it's ridiculous. But if I saw AOC, I mean, I would have a conversation with her. I don't hate the woman. You know what I mean? Like,
and just to clarify, she's not the 1%, though. That is a 500,000 cap nationwide.
Okay.
She's not 1%, but she's definitely upper upper.
Yeah, we get that point.
Middle.
You know,
Yeah,
but
let's
Joy,
clarifying that. Yeah, let's say 5% then.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
5%, yes. Giving them 5%.
we absolutely, I think the majority of people absolutely got Joy's point. But, you know, Joy, you know, since we got like 30 seconds with you left, I know you're in the United Kingdom. Could you spill the beans? Are you working on any kind of project? Is new music coming out?
I'm working on a new album, actually.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're working with some artists from Ireland and the UK. So it's.
Do you got an album title yet that you want to spill the beans?
No,
Is that on hold? Nothing? Well, hey, listen, you're always invited to join us for our Strike a Chord segment when the music comes out. We would love to have that conversation with you. And again, Joy Villa, you are an amazing individual. #1 Billboard artist and actress. She's one of a kind. Go ahead and see The Contrast today.
Yes.
Where can the CCS family check out your film?
You guys can watch the film on Amazon Prime on the 18th of January. It releases, so it'll be out on Amazon Prime forever, starting the 18th.
Amazing. Amazon Prime,
Joy.
you guys heard it. The one and
Thank you,
only
guys.
Joy Villa.
This is
Thank you again for
awesome.
joining the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk
Thank
Show.
you.
My
Ciao.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Ciao. Thank you, guys.